Yo, 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 what's poppin', everybody? Welcome to Straight Talk TV. Thank y'all for tuning in. If you haven't already, do me a big solid. Hit that subscribe button for me, y'all. Tap that little bell notification icon so you get notified with all the latest content, updates, and information from me, Straight Talk TV. Hit that like button, let YouTube know you want to see more of this here content and you're rocking with your boy. Let's jump right into it. This morning, we got more news coming out about the Florida State snub for college football. It is now spilling over into the United States Senate. Yes, you heard me right. The fight for college football is going political. Yes. The decision for the college football playoff selection committee to snub Florida State is spilling over into the United States Senate, and yeah, it's starting to get real sticky in this situation. The Alabama, the Florida Senator Rick Scott is, mad at his Alabama colleague, Tommy Tuberville. Scott went to the Florida State Seminoles' last championship victory in 2013 when he was the governor. He is demanding full transparency on the selection committee's decision to take Florida State out of the top four for the national playoffs in favor of Alabama, which lost to Texas earlier in the season. Scott said the secret deliberations to deny Florida State a chance to win another national championship is the latest example of unfair decisions being made in America by unaccountable people behind closed doors. But ain't that kind of the same thing a grand jury does when they decides to indict or not indict somebody on a case? It's anonymous people sitting behind a closed door making decisions on people's lives. People have no problem with that. They do it every day. Scott says Florida State did everything they were supposed to do, winning all 13 of their games in the season and beating two top-ranked schools on the way in the process. They beat LSU and they beat Louisville. I mean, can we really say LSU and Louisville is top-ranked teams? I mean, they played good. They had decent seasons, but neither one of those teams was in the top 10 or top 5. You know what I mean? Y'all got to remember, Texas beat Alabama. Alabama beat number 1 ranked Georgia. That's why they're in. They beat top ranked opponents. LSU and Louisville was not in the top 5 ever this season. They wasn't even in the top 10 this season. And the Florida senator is worried that the selection committee may have been influenced by outside financial interests, and he's demanding the panel turn over all text, emails, and written communications among members of the selection panel and college football playoff company officials. Wow. He also wants all records of communications between members of the selection committee and individuals not formally affiliated with the college football playoffs. And he wants all the records. Scott also said that the Southeastern Conference, which is the SEC, which is Alabama's home, signed a exclusive 10-year deal with ESPN to broadcast its games starting in 2024. The contract is reportedly worth $3 billion. $3 billion. That's a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? He said there was a financial interest by ESPN to have Alabama in. Was that part of the decision? I don't know. Be transparent. Tell us what's happened, Scott said. Scott also argues that the College Football Playoff Committee did not follow the process because Florida State entered the final week of the regular season ranked number 4 in the country and won its last game against 16th ranked Louisville in the Atlantic Coast Conference, the ACC championship. So they weren't among the 4 teams that made the playoffs. I mean, it happens, folks. It's more to going into the college playoffs than just having an undefeated record. They also look at the strength of your schedule. Now, we already talked about the top 2 teams that Florida State faced this year was LSU and Louisville. Neither one of those teams was in the top 10. They was in the top 25, but not the top 10. For real. I mean, it sucks for Florida State. I feel sorry for them, but, you know, their best wins don't compare to Alabama's best win. Alabama beat a number 1 ranked Georgia team. Scott wrote a letter to Boo Corrigan, the chairman of the selection committee. He pointed out that the decision to pass over Florida State will cost the school and the ACC around $2 million worth of revenue. Wow. But Scott says the consequences for FSU's football program could reverberate for years. He said, think about it. When a new recruit is looking at Florida State, he's going to be thinking to himself, you're never going to get to the playoffs, get to play in the playoffs because I can come and play here and do everything right, and I'm still not going to play in the national championship. That's not how that's going to work, folks. I understand their frustration, but that's not how it's going to work. Scott is also getting support from Florida's governor, Ron DeSantis. Crook. Everybody know Ron DeSantis is a lying, conniving, pathetic little crook. He's a crook. He's a racist crook. Ron DeSantis has pledged to set aside $1 million for litigation expenses that may be used to seek justice over what he called a really, really poor decision to keep Florida State out of the playoffs. Now, listen, y'all. I understand everybody is frustrated about, you know, what's going on with college football. But listen to this and think about this. The governor of Florida is setting aside $1 million for some litigation over a college football game. Think about how many homeless people are in Florida. Think about how many low-income people in Florida. Think about how many low-income neighborhoods there is in Florida that could benefit and use that money. But instead of helping the people of his state out who are in need, especially during this holiday season, he wants to take $1 million of state's money and set aside for litigation over a college football game. Somebody make that make sense. You know what I mean? Somebody make that make sense. You know what I'm saying? Alabama's senior senator, Tommy Tuberville, who had a long and distinguished career in college football. We all know Coach Tuberville as the head coach of Ole Miss, Auburn, Texas Tech, and Cincinnati. He said that was a waste of time. He said the demands that the selection committee turn over its records of the decision to seed Michigan, Washington, Alabama, and Texas in the playoffs was a waste of time. They went by the criteria of who played the toughest schedule. Ain't that what I said? It's more to go into making the college playoffs than just an undefeated season. Now, I've said this before. The College of Liberty College, Liberty University, I think it is, they had an undefeated season. So should they be in the college playoffs? They went by the criteria of who played the toughest schedule. All the criteria they had, he said. There's nobody more experienced to talk about this than this man who is, a former college football coach. He said that he got left out in 2004 when he went undefeated coaching the Auburn Tigers. That year, the Auburn Tigers went 13-0, and they got left out of the national championships. He said the committee did what they thought was right, which I kind of agree with him. They did what they thought was right. Like I said, nobody was complaining back when Auburn went 13-3 and got left out of the national championships. It happens sometime. He said you feel bad for Florida State because he's been in their shoes. But Tuberville said that there's no reason to raise a fuss with the selection committee now because it all changes. You know what I'm saying? It goes to 12 teams next year, referring to the format change for the 2024 college season where 12 teams will be seeded for the national championship football playoffs. That's a wonderful thing. Next year, it will be 12 teams competing for the national championships, a real playoff system. They already corrected the issue and, made it a non-issue. Next season, we're going to have 12 teams in the college playoffs. You know what I mean? Senator Scott from Florida, he rejected that point. He's not willing to dismiss this year's snub of Florida State as water under the bridge. I don't think they're saying that's water under the bridge, Mr. Scott. You know what I mean? Y'all just a little mad right now. You're a little salty, but Florida State and you guys will get over it. You know what I mean? He was like, wait, what about Florida State this year? It happens. We just heard that it happened to Auburn. It happened to Auburn. It happened to you. It happened to Liberty. Like 13-0. Congratulations on your season, but that doesn't necessarily put you in the playoffs this year. And Senator Tuberville was shocked that Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, set aside $1 million in the Florida budget to sue the college football playoff committee. I mean, I think that it's preposterous that you would take states' money to sue an entity over a college football game when it's so much more that you could be doing for the people of your state than wasting states' money on a college football game. And it's going to be a waste of money. They're not going to win their lawsuit. It's going to be a waste of taxpayers' money when that money could have went somewhere else and been far more beneficial to the people of Florida. Senator Tuberville said it's not going to do any good. You know what I'm saying? The playoffs start in about a month. It's not going to do anything. You wouldn't have time to get anything done, he said, of a potential lawsuit. It's not worth doing it. Another Alabama Senator, Katie Britt, also defended the Selections Committee decision, pointing out that Alabama got left out of the playoffs last year and TCU got the 4th seed instead. TCU beat Michigan in an upset before getting crushed by Georgia 65-7 in the national championship game. I think Alabama was left out last year, and then TCU, what was the score? It was 65-7. Britt still seemed, kind of upset about Alabama's. She seemed excited about Alabama's chances of winning a national championship on Thursday when she walked about the press conference with Senator GOP Whip John Thune, and could be overheard saying "Roll Tide." Man, but that's it, folks. Like, I really don't think they need to be bringing college football into politics and politics into college football. It's a game. Our politicians should not be trying to get involved in a game. They supposed to be serving the American public, the people of their state, their constituents. It's so much more time and resources that need to be going into serving the public of their, states than, our politicians wasting time arguing and bickering over a college football game. This doesn't make any sense. I really don't like to see our politicians getting involved in sports decisions and in games, because that's not their job. That's not their job. So, you know what I mean? I really think this is a waste of time and a waste of taxpayers' money. And at the end of the day, all the citizens of Florida is going to be the ones who suffer and pay the price for this nonsense. All the taxpayers in Florida is going to foot the bill for this nonsense, and it's going to wind up being nothing happening. It was just a waste of taxpayers' money. But what do I know? You know what I mean? Y'all hit the comment section down below. Let me know what y'all think about this whole situation. For real. If you haven't already, do me a big solid. Hit that subscribe button for me, y'all. Tap that little bell notification icon so you get notified with all the latest content, updates, and information from me, Straight Talk TV. Yeah. Hit that like button. Let YouTube know you want to see more of this here content, and you're rocking with your boy. And I will catch you guys on the next go round. Straight Talk is out.